science confirms that politics wrecks your brain, or at least your ability to do math. This is complicated, but bear with me here. Yale University was trying to measure why people hold on to incorrect beliefs despite facts that show the exact opposite. So what they did was they took 1,100 participants, they gave them 2 fake studies, one on skin cream and whether skin cream worked or not, and the other on gun control laws and whether a concealed weapons ban worked as a deterrent to crime or not. So put up the numbers real quick and you can see that in this they said, hey, here's the people who took this skin cream and their rash got better, and then people who did not take it and their rash did not get better, or it did get better. Now if you just look at it off the top of your head with those numbers, it looks like the people who did use the skin cream got better. But when you actually stop and do the math, it tests your ability to do ratios. And people who are highly numerate were able to stop and say, hey, wait, this doesn't look right. Let me just calculate really quick. And when you look at that graph, it shows that 3 to 1 showed that the skin cream helped them. 5 to 1, when you do the math, shows that the skin cream, they did actually better if they didn't take the skin cream. So then what they took was another study, another fake study on gun control, whether concealed weapons laws have any effect on crime. And they used the exact same numbers as that graph that we just showed you. And they even mixed them up a little so that it looked like, oh, in some cases, in the study that was given to one participant, the gun control laws worked, and in ones given to others, the gun control laws didn't work. And what they found was that people who identified themselves as either liberal or conservative interpreted the gun study in accordance with their beliefs about gun laws.
So this is awesome because, first of all, if all those numbers hurt your head, you're not alone. 59% of the people got the question wrong to begin with. Okay, so they're like, okay, they're like, I don't know, skincare, guns, they got it wrong, okay? Now, of the people who got it right, you could measure how good they were at math, right?
Yeah.
And so of the people who were skilled at math, now my bias was thinking, Republicans have like a war on science, they have a war on math, this is gonna show that liberals do better. No, they didn't, okay?
No. That's right.
So liberals and conservatives did the same. They were, even among the people who were good at math, liberals would look at the numbers and go, oh yeah, you see that if you ban people carrying guns in a concealed fashion, that's going to help crime statistics. Even if the numbers showed opposite, they just look at it real quick and go, yeah, that must confirm what I think.
Right. And when they did stop to do the math, the folks that, that they figured did stop to do it, what they discovered was that they still got it wrong because they theorized, the researchers theorized that what they did was they're like, that can't be right. That can't be right. No, that's not right. That's not right. No. They actually found the right answer, but then dismissed it because it wasn't in keeping with their preconceived ideas.
So this is enormously important for politics.
This is a huge deal.
And by the way, the conservatives did the same exact thing. Like they wanted to believe that the banning of concealed carry would not help. So they would look at the same numbers. Conservatives who were really good at math, and yes, they exist, okay, would then turn around and go, oh yeah, no, yeah, it's that the ban didn't help at all.
Right.
Okay, so they thought that there was this thing called a deficit model.
Right.
Where if people had a deficit of information. So
if they only had enough information, then they would know that what they think that is correct is actually wrong because the data, the evidence doesn't show that. That's the deficit model, if you just give them more information.
Desi, now you cover, environmental issues all the time. So, I thought, well, if you give people information about climate change, they would maybe be more inclined to believe in climate change.
You'd think.
Right, but in this case, it kind of shows you, no, they're just going to ignore it.
Yeah, the Yale Project on Climate Communications, this is done by the same people who work for that. And that's what they do. They do cognitive, what they call cultural cognition. And they say that your that your ideology, the member of the tribe that you belong to, is actually more important for what you think and how you perceive and process evidence and empirical evidence is more important than what the actual evidence says. And so it's really fascinating. It has a lot of implications for climate communication, science communication. It's why they say people are so resistant to evidence and facts that don't fit their ideology, and why we still have that strong group of people who deny science.
I'm going to stretch it a little bit, but I think that I'm right about it. Then I'm biased, so. No, but no, seriously, I think it also applies to religion. Like you can tell people until you're blue in the face that you actually cannot raise the dead, you can't walk on water, and all the things that are fantastic and unbelievable in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, it doesn't matter. And people go, oh. You could show them, hey, look, in the Bible it says you should have slaves. That's part of the natural order. And they're like, they're like, facts be damned. They don't care. They're gonna, because they go with their identity over the facts.
Exactly. And there's another study that they also did with the Yale Project on Climate Communication where they said, oh, well, if somebody who is presented to me in this study of, they look to be, all white males and they're experts who have different opinions on something, then what they'll do is they'll choose the expert who looks to be more a member of their tribe. Even if they don't have any information on it, they'll say, oh, that guy looks like he's a conservative, or that guy looks like he's a liberal and probably agrees with me, so I'll say he's the expert and the other guy is wrong.
Yeah.
And this is another fake study that they did. It's really fascinating stuff.
Now, of course, it's a little depressing because we like to think that facts matter, right? And so now, look, liberals were just as biased as conservatives.
That's right.
When it came to these facts. But what the study doesn't test is in the real world, where do the facts actually lie? They say they give them the facts in this case, right? But in the real world, the facts lie wherever they are, right? And so it's not that we're looking at 97% of the world's scientists saying there is climate change and it's man-made, and we're saying, or we're looking at 50% and seeing 97%. It actually is 97%.
It actually is 97%. That's right. And there are some studies that show that people will be more inclined to listen to the empirical evidence if the person that is presenting that evidence to them appears to come from their tribe. Mm-hmm. So, it's not just choosing to decide which experts that you're going to listen to, but it's also if somebody that, say, is a Republican Party member and he came out and said, or she came out and said, climate change is real, it is a threat, we need to do something about it as soon as possible, then it might help change those people who are solid anti-science climate change deniers to actually change their minds.
So that's super interesting. And also it goes to show you, if you're going to make a political argument, unfortunately, you shouldn't base it on facts. No. You should base it on emotion,
values,
appeals to identity, values, etc.
Morals.
Yeah, and it's super depressing for people who actually believe in facts. And I'm also, by the way, very disappointed in you liberals. Okay, you ought to know better than that.